So it's Sunday about 10:30 a.m. and guys always ask me business advice. When they ask what one piece of advice would I give you, it's always whatever it is you do or whatever you're about to do, it needs to be something that you love doing. Because if you don't love doing it, you're not going to succeed at it. It's going to be harder to do. If you love doing it and you're willing to do it for free, then it will be that much easier when you're making money doing it. And just an example, I work 7 days a week, every day of the year. Even on Christmas, I'm doing emails, I'm looking at social media, because that's my hobby. It was my hobby for years and years and years before I made any money doing it. I always made a little money doing it, but I didn't make enough to cover the cost of doing it. So fast forward quarter century, 25 years, we joke, we've been doing this before the internet. It used to be a lot harder to do things. You couldn't search them. You had to go places. You had to find them. You had to steal them. You had to beg, borrow, steal, invent them. And now, guys wanting to get into this industry, there's little tiny supply houses. We didn't have colored webbing. You could only get black webbing unless you bought a dye lot. And to get it in the 3 sizes of webbing and Velcro, it was a $20,000 initial outlay, which we couldn't afford. And it just couldn't happen back then. But as an example, I've been here for an hour or so this morning. And is this still running? Yes, it is. I'm doing emails. And you can see in my inbox, I have 18,000 emails. Clutter, which is something that popped up on my Outlook a few months ago, which is great. It has diverted 25,000 junk emails. So in the inbox, the 18,000 emails, those are real emails. The clutter pulls out most of the spam and does about a 95% job of catching that bullshit. Today, I've gone through and done my emails, and then I'm catching a couple from yesterday and some little stuff that required in-depth answers from Friday. But I've got the hot knife heating up. I'm going to stand here for a little while and cut down expedite belts. And what expedite belts are, it's a dude who's deployed, somebody who's asked us, with good reason, to expedite their order. A guy who's on the job, and if they're not an asshole about it, we won't tell them we'll do them right away, but we usually do them pretty quick. And then also what that is when it's the last item in the order, all the other shit from his order is in his box. All it's now waiting on is a belt. I will cut that, and that'll be an expedite order. I'll cut it, and I'll walk it over to one of the couple girls that sew the belts, put it on the table. They'll build them first thing. That will finish those boxed orders, and they will ship out tomorrow. And then in addition to that, our girls will build about 100 belts a piece, and those will ship. These boxes here are all orders that we packed up at the end of the day, 5 o'clock on Friday. All the employees left. These were all boxed up after 5 o'clock. So Nick will come in the morning first thing tomorrow and actually have something to ship and work within his job description. We really don't have a job description per se here. When he runs out of this, he might be cleaning floors, he might be cutting material, he might be doing farm shit. You never know. And then our guys will come in the morning. Amanda's here. She's upstairs and she's printing orders. She'll come in and lay orders. These are just a few orders that came in late Friday before we all took off. But she'll print orders today so that Tyler, when he comes in, has a bunch of stuff to pull. As they pull orders, boxes will get made. If the order's ready to ship, it'll go on the shelf. If not, the order, whatever we have for the order, will get pulled and put on these shelves over here. And then the slip will go into being made, which means we need an item for it, which is in motion right now, already cut, and it just needs to get nested. Box means we have a box on the shelf, and there is something left on that order that needs to be made. In this case, it is a tool bag remaining for that order. These are belts. The only thing left on it is a belt, or all it was a belt. That'll actually get cut today. I'll cut those. And then no box, which means we didn't have anything that he has ordered on order. And these will go in and then get placed into these different bins. And as we build items, those will get pulled. And it's organized chaos. There is really no organization as far as that goes. Yes, there's software to do it. The way we operate the business, it doesn't allow us to do that. We have done it this way. It works well for us. It works well for the customer. Every now and then you'll see some guy upset about it, and that's his first time buying from us, and he will choose to continue because he gets the product and he loves it, or he's pissed off and he just needs something right away, and then that's fine. He goes someplace else. The guys we're really looking for, and we poke them and prod them a little, the guy that says, well, I didn't see your timeline or whatever. And we poke those guys a little bit, and they'll go out on the internet and talk all kinds of trash about us, but really they're advertising for us. We get a huge influx of business every time one of those guys does that. And people have been taught over and over the customer's always right, which is some bullshit that a company made up to try to gain more customers in that time. I believe that was actually invented, that saying came to be during the Great Depression, while they were battling and vying for what little money was out there. Their consumers just were not there. This is the first YouTube video I've ever made on my phone. I'm going to go ahead and upload this, try to keep it short. And I am going to work. And if you're working today, more power to you. If you're resting or you're in bed or hanging out with a family, whatever that is, those are choices. It's not right. It's not wrong. Whatever you're doing is obviously right for you. And do that. Luckily, my job is what I enjoy doing. And it's, you know, I tell people who are like, man, you're here all the time, you work all the time. Well, I do, but it's not, I don't see it as work, because I just like doing what I do. And luckily my family is with me, usually at work, and my friends, I'm able to hire friends and they work here. And it's just a big family. In addition to my, you know, blood relatives, you know, a lot of my employees are family. And it's like, you know, when your family comes over for the football game, or, you know, Thanksgiving, you end up out in the garage or whatever in your little man cave. And I just have 16,000 feet of man cave here, luckily. What I do for work is what I enjoy doing, and everything I do is work. No matter what that is, cars, watches, whatever it is, I come up with some product to put me into that industry to support my hobby or habit or whatever it is you want to call that. And I don't really have a plan when I start talking. I just go in 1,000 directions, and you never know what we'll get or what comes out. When I'm invited to speak in front of a group of people as a guest speaker or something like that, I just kind of start talking and open it up early for questions, because I will feed off of their questions and it will give us a much better content. I don't work well with structure. I just do what I do, and what comes out comes out.